Hey everybody, LeetSpeed here. Yeah, the intro was very interesting. A bit strange, I guess, on my behalf, but it is what it is. And I had to do a new one anyways because when I last had the intro for Traptrix, there were only 3 of them, and obviously there's not 3, but there's 4. Yeah, not 3 but 4. So what does that mean? Well, it means I could redo the intro, but just to put the 4th. But I'm thinking, I'm just gonna put a new one together. Choose a new different song or whatever, and then just go from there. And that's basically what I freaking put together. And it's very strange, definitely very strange, considering my videos. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. To be honest, it's probably something you were expecting by now. So yeah, that's kind of a thing, but that's not what I'm here to talk about, is it? We're actually here to talk about the actual Traptrix. Not Traptrix artifacts, not Traptrix heroes, not Traptrix fire hand ice hand dot deck thing. Yeah, just good old fashioned, nice and powerful Traptrix, mainly pure-ish. Yeah, like basically none of the other shit. Mainly Traptrix with like Thunder King Ryo, card Ds for +1s and all the trap hole stuff that that they like to get and abuse and all that other stuff. So yeah, that's basically how it goes. And my opponent's using Ghostrick Monarchs. But yeah, I want to talk about a couple of things in this video just because, well, since I haven't played this deck in a long time, I'm sure some people are probably like curious as to how did I change the deck from like the last time I've ever played it. And to be honest, I just put this together like without really looking up other profiles. I literally just because I looked at the old version I had, and I'm like, I'm gonna make a fresh one from scratch. I'm gonna put in the typical Traptrix stuff. I'm gonna run 1 Nepenthes, 2 Atrax, 3 Myrmeleo, 3 Dionaea, and stuff like that, and then run the bottomless and all that other stuff. Now I'm running like one of each of the other trap holes, like regular trap hole, the boy trap hole, Traptrix trap hole nightmare, and space time trap hole. Now space time trap hole is the latest and newest trap hole edition, so I'll talk about that as well. But basically, space time trap hole it works similar. It's kind of weird, basically. Well, it's not weird, but it's interesting. When your opponent special summons a monster from their hand or extra deck, you get to shuffle the monsters. So if they summon more than one, you can shuffle them all. You shuffle them all into the deck. Then you lose 1,000 life points for each monster that got shuffled by that effect. So if your opponent goes for a pendulum summon and summons multiple monsters at the same time, you can activate Space Time Trap Hole and shuffle them all into the deck, and then take 1,000 for each. Now that's very risky at times, especially if you can't afford to lose that many life points, especially if you're hitting a lot of monsters and you don't get to choose either. So if they summon 5 monsters off of pendulum summoning or rekindling or soul charge, yeah, you're gonna take a maximum of 500 life point loss to yourself basically, and it definitely hurts. Now besides that, I'm running I think it's Gorgon Anti-luminescent Knight. Yeah, kind of a weird name, and I'm surprised I actually pronounced the rest of his name right. Actually, that's false, because when I read the card, when I read the name, Anti-luminescent Knight, I know some people couldn't say that name. They couldn't say that part of the name. I basically just look at each of the individual parts separately. I read Anti-luminescent Knight, basically. Anti-luminescent Knight. So you try to read each individual bits of the word and then try to say them as one word. That's what I do, but it's probably not going to work for everyone. But basically, this guy is very interesting. He looks like one of the Gem Knights. He's all corrupted and stuff like that. And I think he actually has a tie-in with Shaddoll somewhere. He has a tie-in with Shadow Roots, at least. So there's definitely a tie-in with him somewhere as far as Shaddolls go. But basically, here's a very interesting effect. Basically, if a card or effect's activated on the field, that would target one card on the field, and exactly one card. Then you can detach a material, and then you could choose a different card on the field that would be an appropriate target, and the new target of that card or effect now becomes the new target, basically. So, for example, if my opponent uses Mystical Space Typhoon on my Shard of Greed or something like that, and they have a spell trap card on the field that I can hit, I can detach a material, then target one of their back rows instead and destroy it. So I'm protecting my card while destroying one of theirs. So it kind of forces your opponent to not use cards that target if there's something else on the field that I can hit. So it's very interesting. Now, my opponent has not seen this card, and I was like, yeah, I'm actually not surprised at this, because I only saw him in like one deck profile, I think, and that was the Traptrix Artifact OCG first place deck profile that Asian Eyes White Dragon posted. And I don't even remember when that was, but that was a while ago. And yeah, I haven't really seen people talk about this guy. And actually, I think he's one of those cards that, yeah, it makes sense that people aren't really talking about him, because, oh, not because he's not like decent or anything. No. I think he's actually a pretty decent card. I think it's just that not every deck's gonna find space to run this guy, especially when established decks, like +1 Fire Fist, they already have their extra deck. They already pretty much have their extra deck set up, and I don't know if they're gonna take anything out for this guy. But I mean, it's not a bad call per se, just because against like certain Xyz monsters like Monarch, they're not gonna want to make that against him, because if they want to try to target him, well, you can just redirect that effect, and essentially they're screwed. So that's kind of a thing you have to keep in mind as well. So, and in this game, he just definitely puts in a bit of work, just because he's playing the Ghostrick Monarchs, and obviously a lot of his cards are going to be targeting me. So I can redirect those effects if I want to, especially if they are a particular threat. So that's kind of why I think at one point I did not redirect an MST that he fired, but instead I just waited till he like hit my monster with like a card event, and then I would just go Lance or something like that. But yeah, as far as like the Traptrix stuff itself goes, Dionaea is really, really helpful in this deck. In fact, this is kind of like Pilika for Gusto. Definitely wouldn't hurt to have extra support, especially for one card rank 3 plays. Or, well, in this case for Traptrix, one card rank 4 plays. But her other effect's very nice too. And what's cool is that the tech that I'm running in Lonefire Blossom allows me to get Dionaea out of the deck. So basically, when she's special summoned, I get to target one of my trap holes, one of my normal trap holes, and set it on the field. The downside, it gets banished at the end of my next turn. So it doesn't stick around for long, which I guess I think that's good, because, I mean, you know how crazy it would be if you could keep cycling her over and over again, get back a trap hole, and kind of just say, you know what, I'm going to keep getting my trap holes back, and you can't do shit. You have to play around the trap holes I keep bringing back with her biatch. But yeah, basically, it would be really annoying. So I'm glad that it has that kind of restriction on it, basically. And then when she's normal summoned, you get to bring back a Traptrix monster from your graveyard in face-up defense mode. Now, obviously, this effect not only just lets you go for rank 4 C plays, but she also triggers the other effect of Traptrix Myrmeleo, which blows up a spell track card on the opponent's side of the field. So you get to blow up a back row and go for a rank 4 C play. That's not bad. Something that the archetype wouldn't mind having, because they didn't have that kind of play before. They didn't have a one-card Exceed plays that's archetype themed. I mean, you could run like Summoner Monk and stuff like that, which some people have run, but here now you don't have to really rely on that anymore. You can just use Traptrix Dionaea, especially because Traptrix Nepenthes can summon her from the deck or add her to the hand when you activate a trap hole normal trap card. And obviously they're all immune to said cards, so yeah, they're practically immune to those kind of cards too. And what's kind of interesting is that since I'm running Lonefire and Soul Charge, these techs are kind of interesting, at least. I say that mainly because Soul Charge, as strange of a choice it is for this deck particularly, it does serve a purpose or two. One, it gives me it kind of acts like Monster Reborn would have, just bringing back a monster that I've lost to like Warning or Torrential, and maintain field presence at the cost of 1,000 line points or so. But not only that, it also triggers the effects of Dionaea and Myrmeleo, so I get to blow up a back row and get a trap hole from my graveyard if I have any, and place it face down, and go for a rank 4 Exceed play. That's not too shabby, especially against slower decks that basically can't do the same thing you do. It's a nice option. And the fact that Lonefire can also special summon Dionaea because she's a plant type monster, it's really nice too. And you can also get Nepenthes too, because, well, you don't want to really draw into Nepenthes, but if you summon her out the deck with Lonefire, that's even better because you can summon her in defense mode, where obviously her defense is better than her attack, and you have her effect ready to go whenever you activate a trap hole trap card, basically. But yeah, this deck build's changed quite a bit, and you can obviously tell with me playing around with the new support and trying out Soul Charge, Lonefire, and Shard of Greed and stuff like that. I'm just taking all sorts of stuff, particularly Soul Charge and Lonefire. Mainly because I don't think people really use them in here, but I think they do have a use. And as I explained, they trigger the effects of my 2 other Traptrix, and then I still run Atrax and Nepenthes, obviously, but I only run 1 Nepenthes and 2 Atrax, mainly because when I'm using cards like Card Guardie and Shard of Greed, if I'm drawing into trap hole cards while I have Atrax on the field, I can put like maybe 1 on the face down and keep the others in my hand, so that they can't MST all my trap hole cards. So if they want to summon something, they have to do it with extreme caution, especially because they'll be activating from the hand where cards like MST can't hit them. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.